Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we are doing a live stream discussion for the movie The Blackening. Super excited about that. If you're new to my channel, I'm Vanessa. I go by Vanessa Marie Books on all my platforms. I am a fantasy, horror, and paranormal writer, book publisher, diversity reader, / editor, all the different things. So I have with me here today Holly. You guys, if you joined us last week for our discussion of Barbarian, you might remember Holly. And also, Teresa is joining us here today. So I'll give you guys a minute to introduce yourself.
Yes. Hey, everyone. I'm Holly. You can find me as Holly Davis across the interwebs. It was very fun to chat about Barbarian, so I'm super excited to talk about The Blackening. I am the author of an upcoming YA epic fantasy called A Diamond Bright and Broken that will be out April 2nd, 2024. So if you like tangled retellings and strong sibling relationships, disability, and LGBTQ rep, then you will enjoy my book. Also the host of the Diversity is Lit book club, and Vanessa and Teresa are my co-hosts, where we read one book by a BIPOC author every month and discuss it on my YouTube channel. So if that sounds good to you, you can check it out.
Cool. Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Beasley. I write under the pen name T.A. Beasley. I write thriller novels. I'm also a podcaster over at a Reader's Book Corner. And I'm really excited to talk about The Blackened. So that's me.
Yay.
Cool. So I had seen the movie. I don't know. I just came across the trailer one day when I was looking for movies to watch back in October, and I saw the trailer for The Blackening, and I told my brother, "Hey, let's watch this. This looks kind of funny," and it ended up being super hilarious. We loved it. And I was like, "Ooh, I want to do a talk on this one." Told Holly and Teresa about it. So to start off with, okay, so there's a lot that I want to get to, but my first question for both of you is, can you name one Black character that survived a horror movie?
Oh, like in this movie or like any movie?
Any movie.
Brandy's character in I Know What You Did. I still know what you did last summer. Her character survived, and that's because it was put in her contract.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
She did not want to be a character that died. So I do know that one. I'm trying to think of any other one.
I know. I'm like, you know what? I don't know. That's.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Vanessa. I'm trying to think of any other people that Black people that survived.
Barbarian.
Yeah. Barbarian, yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet, so I still gotta watch that.
Oh, sorry.
So, for those of you watching the live stream, by the way, feel free to comment in the chat box and say hi and share your thoughts on the movie as well. But for those of you watching, I asked that question because if you've seen the movie, you know that's the first question that's asked when they play the game. Name a Black character.
Right.
And I still can't believe he said Jada and Omar from Scream.
I can't believe he said that either. They were like the first two to die.
That was hilarious. Yeah. I was like, no.
But since I was watching a lot of horror movies in October. Of course, I have a list of them. So we um, so LL Cool J, who plays the preacher in Deep Blue Sea and
Yeah.
Ronnie and Halloween H2O,
Oh.
Yeah.
which I'm wondering if it's in his contract too that he can't die because I think he's so hot. But then we have Ice Cube who plays Danny and Anaconda. We have the
Yeah.
Black in Us. Um, we
Mhm.
have Daniel who played Chris in Get Out. Um,
Oh yeah.
we have Joel the cameraman from Scream 2,
Yep.
played by Wayne. Uh, also the twins, Chad and Mindy from
From Scream.
Scream 5 and 6. Um, Tessa, as we said, from Barbarian. And Ronnie, um, played by Collins Penny in Prom Night. And then, of course, we have basically just about the whole black cast of the Blackening,
The
except
black.
for Morgan.
It's a big discrepancy there.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess let's kind of jump into the story. So it's a group of friends that go to this like cabin in the woods, house in the woods type feel. So already you've got a bunch of horror tropes that they're playing off of
Yes.
the beginning. So a group of friends in a cabin in the woods situation with the mass killer after them. Um, so what? Well, let's start with just overall. What were your overall thoughts on the movie?
Well,
I
I liked it. I mean, I'm sorry, Holly. I
no,
liked
you
the
go, you
movie.
go.
Um, I thought it was funny, and I do have my favorite character, but I know we'll get into that later. But um, I did pick out who was behind it, like in the first few minutes of the
Dang.
movie.
So
Yeah, but I like the leading up to it, how they how they lead up to it, and all the comical comments that happen throughout the movie. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but some things I'm like, okay, a black person would not do that. So why are you doing that? Because they did a lot of stuff that I'm like, that was I would not be doing that. But overall, I thought it was good. I thought there was you had the scare tactics, you had the funny parts in it, you had
Mm-hmm.
the outrageous parts in it
Mhm.
with the whole her in the woods dramatic scene where she takes down the dude. That was hilarious.
That was,
Her war makeup.
who did So what were your thoughts when that scene with her in the woods when she takes them out and you see her with the things between her fingers, and a lot of people were uh, commenting Wolverine, like
Mm.
they
hmm
she was being like Wolverine in that scene. I thought of someone else. I was wondering what you guys were thinking.
Well, it's similar to like the Freddy Krueger knives, but I was thinking Wolverine too, because the
Yeah,
way
that's
she
what
like
I
jumped down, like I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, is she trying to be Wolverine in this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my first thought too.
hmm
Which is interesting because my first thought was again, like you said, when she jumped down, and then the and I can see why people thought Wolverine. My first thought was actually Black Panther. Um,
Yes.
the war makeup, the
Oh yeah,
was
yeah.
Black Panther was my first thought is where they were going with that.
That makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense. Yeah, it does.
Um, so what? Okay. Actually, Holly, did you
Oh,
say your overall?
yeah. So I also enjoyed it. I thought it was like a well done parody. That like they had a really good balance with like the horror and the comedy. I thought that was done so well. Um, I never catch who the killer is until the end. Like I am very bad at that. So I had no idea. And especially like, we kind of got faked out like when the killer was hurt, and there's, ends up, we'll go into it more later, but just different things that made me think that it wasn't someone, in the group. Um, but I don't have like the mystery thriller mind to like be able to pick out any killers. I'm always bad. But so that like kept my attention because I was like, well, what's happening? And um like everyone just had their big like personalities, and so I liked seeing that unfold throughout the story too, like kind of like the side romance, like the friendship and romance like struggle with Lisa and
Mhm.
Namdi, and then Dwayne being upset, and um so I really enjoyed it, and I just loved like, yeah, like you said, like the cabin in the woods, but they were able to kind of turn those kind of tropes on its head and twist it a little bit. So
Hmm. Yeah. For me, again, I loved it. Me and my brother both watched it together. We loved it, and like you, Holly, he usually doesn't guess who it is. Um, but I knew from way in the beginning when we see him, I knew it was gonna be he was gonna be a part of it.
gosh.
Um,
Mhm.
I was like, how do you always know? I'm like, well, they actually made it pretty obvious in this one. But
Yeah, this one they did.
also the fact that like that scene when they have to choose the blackest of them to leave and
Mhm.
get down to Clifton, and he's trying to give reasons for uh, why he's not the blackest, and he says he voted for Trump twice, and they're like, well, I set it up. I'm like, I would have sent him out as well, but not for the Trump thing because I knew he was part of this from the get go.
Yep.
Would have sent him out for specifically for that.
Mhm.
But that so that scene was actually pretty funny when they were trying to determine who was the blackest, and like you had each character like, well, it's not me because I'm like I use white. You only want to use white, black. This one is convenient. But my um so when they're it's just all the whole going around. Oh, who was it that said uh it was uh what's his name should be the blackest because he says nigga the most. Oh, Shanika. They said,
Oh,
Mhm.
and then she's like nigga. But it's just so funny. And that scene was actually that was the scene uh that I think the movie started off as a skit, and that was the scene in the skit. Um,
Oh
they
oh.
that. Did you guys get a chance to see the skit?
no.
I think I may have watched that like before. I don't know. Maybe I didn't.
I don't think I saw the skit.
Yeah,
Mm.
the
I
skit
didn't
is
see the skit.
it's a short, like, I don't remember how long it is, 5 minutes or something like that. But yeah, it's basically that scene where there's the killer, they have to send someone out, they have to pick who's the blackest to send out, and everyone's going around saying why it shouldn't
They're the
be done.
blackest.
And even that one joke that was in the skit was also directly in the movie where I'm forgetting everyone's names right now. But the one that said they couldn't send him because he's gay, and everyone knows that gayness is just whiteness wrapped up in a bunch of dicks.
Was that Dwayne?
Dwayne King. Which
Dwayne,
one?
was it?
Was
I think it was.
that Dwayne?
I
I
think
think it
so.
was. Isn't his name Dwayne?
I
The
think
gay guy that's in it. I think his name is Dwayne.
so. Yeah, that whole part was in the skit, and it's in the
Oh,
movie.
okay.
And
Nice.
so I think they kind of just expanded and built on that. Um, I I actually really thought that the movie reminded me of a black version of Scream.
Yep.
'Cause
Yes.
it's very aware of itself, and it's very aware of the tropes, horror movie tropes. Um, we see it like in just about all their interactions once things start happening. They get mad at that one girl for suggesting they split up, or like,
Yes. You never split up.
Yes.
um, and then the scene with the sheriff when he comes to the house and they all drop their weapons, and then they have
Oh
that
yes.
moment where
Mhm.
like, I would not come to the cookout even if I was invited, and that whole playing up on not just some horror tropes but also black tropes as well, or
Mhm.
stereotypes as well. So I thought they did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that scene with like who's the blackest because they were like, "Well, I'm married to a white person." "Well, I'm successful." And it was just like, oh, they're like throwing it all out there. "Well, I'm
All up.
nerdy and like I'm biracial." And so like they brought up so many good points about like what people would consider like, "Oh, you're not black enough," and
Mhm.
things like that. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like the game part too, where the game they had to play this game and it was all these different questions and they had to get the answers. I thought that was fun too. It's like a race of time.
mhm.
I like that part as well.
I
Yeah.
I did too, and I think that was one of the parts where I'm like, they did this. They did it well, but there were some tweaks and stuff that I would have made myself to make it more, uh, just make it more realistic in a sense. Because you know
Mm.
how you were saying earlier, Teresa, that some of the stuff they were doing, you're like, no, black people wouldn't do this.
Nope.
And see, you need to point this out to
Yeah.
me. You need to tell me which things.
Yeah, because there's something. Well, for one, playing the game to begin with.
Yes. Don't
You
even
see,
open that door.
Mhm.
you see a game like that, and you still go ahead and start.
And
I'm
play
like,
it.
nope.
No.
Mm-mm.
But see, and that's why I said I would make little tweaks and changes to where they're forced to play it. Uh,
Mm.
so it would be like, okay, uh, they go into the room, they discover this weird racist game, and so they're like, we're out of here. But right as they
Mhm.
turn to leave, the door shuts, it locks them in, the TV turns on, and it's like, you gotta play or Morgan dies.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
that is when I'm like, okay, that I can see happening, that I can see them
Yeah.
being to do it. And then also, um, and this, I think this is also what I said when we did our live stream discussion of There's No Way I Died First. But I feel like a lot of times with horror, some people are afraid to write smart characters because then you're like, would they end up in this situation? And I'm like,
Mhm.
you can have smart characters, you just need to have a smarter villain. Your villain has
Right.
Ah,
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
And
yes.
um and so like I was saying, you know, they may have been like, no, we're not playing this, we're out, but they get locked in and forced to play. Then after um after they lose that question, miss that question, and Morgan they take out Morgan, then you can have it where like uh some sort of gas or something is released into the room that knocks them out, and
Mm.
then the killer takes one of them and brings them back to their lair, ties them up, and
Mhm.
when they wake up, they're like, one of them is missing, gone, and they're forced to start all over again, play again. And there's other
Mhm.
things to do to try and separate uh, each of the group members to pick them off one by one. There are other ways you could do that as well. But I'm just like, you gotta just make them smarter.
Yeah.
I
Because
can
I wouldn't
see
have. I wouldn't even have opened the door. It was when they first got there. It was like a locked door. So
Mhm.
why even try to open the door? It must be locked for a reason. That means don't go in there.
Yeah, was
But
it
of
like, did
course,
they think that the other friends were there, or I forget why they went down there in the first place?
they thought that the other friends, the first two from the beginning,
Yeah.
were messing
hmm
with
Yes.
because the door because when they went in, the door was unlocked this time, and it had the game room sign on the door, which that
door.
wasn't um,
Right. Got it.
that wasn't there earlier. So they thought it was Morgan and Sean, pulling a prank
Playing
on
it.
them.
hmm
Mhm.
I understand, which is why I'm like, I'm okay with them actually going into the room and checking it out. But the minute they saw the game, that's when they
They
should
should have just turned and
They should
left.
have noped it.
Yep. Yes. Nope.
But it's hard because yeah, it's like they have to go through with it because there needs to be a story, but you can
hmm
do it like Vanessa's example in a very plausible way where it's
Kind of
like,
way.
okay, you're not calling them stupid, like why are you going down the creepy stairs, in the darkness, like, there's a reason for what they're doing.
Yeah.
Mhm. Which,
And I think it would have been more. I'm sorry, Vanessa. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I do see that there are moments where you see they tried to do some of that,
Mhm.
like
hmm
when they finally try to leave and Shanika throws the thing against the window and it doesn't break and they realize it's a glass, um, the windows are unbreakable glass and there's bars on the window and then when they look outside and
Mhm.
they see the arrows in the tires of the car, so even if they found a way to make it outside, they're they have no way of leaving in their car.
Leaving.
Mhm.
Like you see some of those things and it's like, that's what I'm talking about when I say, make your villain smarter.
Yeah, so true. He had it all set up.
Yeah. I mean, it was, but I pegged him first at the gas station
Mm-hmm.
when she
What?
stopped and she
Mm-hmm.
went in there, and then all of a sudden he just, the weird dude was following her around the store, and then he pops up, and it made me think of him because she was like, "Wait a minute, you wasn't even invited."
Yeah,
But then
exactly.
later on, he says that Morgan invited him.
Mm,
And this is supposed to be a reunion with all the people from school. So I was like, okay, yeah, it's him.
got it.
It's him.
I just
I was
saw
like,
him
it's
as the
got to be him.
awkward, just like the awkward, like outcast, but he still was
Hmm.
kind of part of the group, like more an acquaintance. But I didn't pick up on any of those
Yeah,
clues.
when he said that at the gas station, and then later on when they was like doing the who's the blackest, he was telling them that Morgan invited him, and I was like, wait a minute. But
Mm,
at the gas station, he said he didn't say that Morgan. He said nothing about Morgan inviting him.
mm.
I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, he's part of it.
Because I think, well, at the gas station, she didn't Shanika ask him, "Are you going to the thing?" Or something like that. He was like, he was on his way there. His uh, phone battery
Yeah, he
died.
was there to get a phone charger, and she told him he could ride with her.
Yeah, uh,
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah. Um, the second time um, I watched it, I saw that fake interaction being more suspicious. I didn't actually peg him until I think it was when they got to the house. When they got to the house and started, and like no one knew who he was. They were all like,
Mhm.
"You're from where
Mhm.
school?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, no,
Yep. Yep.
we're not supposed to be here. No one, no one
Yeah.
knows who you are." Like that.
I
That's
was like,
like, yeah.
yeah, I was like, okay, nobody knows you here. They wasn't expecting him to be there. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, why would Morgan invite him and not tell the rest of the friends that he's coming?
Mm.
I was like, yeah, nah, it's got to be him. It's got
So
to be
then,
him.
did you like peg that did you think that like he was the masked person, like one of the masked people at one point, or did you know that like, oh, he must have gotten help, or like, did
I
you
didn't think he
suspect
was any of the mass people. I just thought that he had a partner. Somebody was helping him,
that? Mm-hmm.
and that he might have put it. I didn't know if he put it all together for them to be at that location at that one time, or if Morgan did.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, okay, he's in some of the rooms with them when stuff is happening, so he can't be one of the mass people. So he's got to have somebody helping him.
Yeah.
And the only person I could think of when me and my husband was watching it, my husband was like, is it the guy in the gas station? Because he was acting very weird. I was like, oh, but why would they know each other?
Right.
He was like, I think it's the guy in the gas station. I was like,
Mm.
I
Right.
know it's the guy in the glasses, but I don't know about the guy in the gas station. But he was like, no, it's him and the guy in the gas station. And I was
Mm.
like, well, we'll see once we get toward the end of the movie when they reveal what's going on.
Well, I know I did think it was like I was suspicious of like whoever owned the cabin because I was just like, oh, they're like, oh, they only rent that out to like white people, and it happens to be on Juneteenth, and there's this Confederate flag. Like it just seemed like sketchy. Like there was like the
Hmm.
owners were behind it somehow because they were upset that they were renting. I don't know. So that was like those were the only suspicions that I had.
So, what did y'all think about the reason behind why he was doing it?
Oh, that was one thing that's so lame. You come up with reason. I was like, you did all that because she said her black card's revoked.
That was the only thing I didn't like.
That's the only thing that I'm like, so this is so dumb. Like he got that upset to go drink and then drive and get into an accident because of that. I'm like,
Yep, and then go to jail, and then and then it was, for him to that was just interesting, the convenience of him, like, oh yeah, they're all in this place, and I'm just gonna try to kill them all. Like, it wasn't just like one person that he was mad at. He was just like, yeah, no, all of you. Like, there wasn't one person that he was like upset at.
Yeah, he like blamed them all.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm just gonna take them all out. And I like a good revenge story. I love revenge stories. But I was like, okay, y'all had to come up with a better reason than that. That this was not.
I think
That really, you did all this for that reason.
I know.
I think the arrows were like a good weapon because it was just like, well, how far away are they? Like, how close, how far? So that was like, I liked that they added that weapon into the picture because it was something different.
Now, I do want to know how all three of them got up in that vent. Awesome hiding spot, but I'm like, really? And I just like Dwayne, his character, her friend. I mean, he got mad at her for talking to the guy again, but he was my favorite out of all of them. He was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, move over, let me up in here. But I was like, how are all three of them in this vent? The vents are not that big.
Apparently in this cabin it is.
It must be, because I was like, okay. And then when he threw up on the when he threw up on the I was like, oh my God. This is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And then them getting high, she mixed up the medicine that she tried. She gave them. They both was high. I was like, oh my God. And of course they split up, and the two high ones are with her. And I'm like, oh God, this is not going to go well.
Yeah, that's what I was like. This is a recipe for disaster. Like because it's like they're not gonna. Yeah, they're gonna have like the, I don't know, slower reaction time, or be like, "What am I seeing? What's really happening?" I don't know how drugs work, but
I mean, they acted it out very well.
Yeah, I think they did.
One thing I wanted to point out also is, I thought it was interesting, and they did a really good job at how, like, so when they split up, and I wasn't even thinking about this or noticing this until I saw someone bring it up in a review or a comment, whatever. But when they split up into the two groups, one group was all the light-skinned ones, and one was the darker skin. And it's funny how the ones that were the darker skin, they were like, when the killer was coming after them, I forget who it was, maybe Dwayne or something, but one of them made a comment about how, like, of course they would go after, the killer would go after the dark skins first.
Yeah.
But then,
I can't remember who said that.
I think it was Dwayne, I don't remember. But then we realized, they went after both of them at the same time.
Yep.
Which actually brings me to my next point, because we discovered two killers, but I thought there would be a third one around. Did anyone else think there would be a third person? Not Clifton, who was behind everything, but a third mask killer.
No. I was just thinking two.
I was thinking three only because they found the mask in the sheriff's car, When
Mhm.
he came back, he was like, I found it in the woods or something like that, whatever, whatever. But at the time when they found it in the car, they hadn't taken down the killer that was shooting at them in the woods. Um, when she went,
Right. Yeah, they hadn't because he shot the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And he
so they hadn't taken. Well, did he shoot the sheriff? Because I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been the other one. Uh, I'm I'm a little iffy on
oh
the timeline because after
yeah.
we see the sheriff was like, "Stay here, I'll be right back," and then
Mhm.
and then the next scene is the killer shooting the arrows at Shanika in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I was thinking, okay, so that's one, and he was I'm saying, after they take him down and realize it's not the same guy, because of the boot thing, they need to go warn the others. So that's why I was thinking the other one that was after the group in the car is the one that shot the cop. But either way, they unmasked two of them. So where did that mask in the car come from? Is what I was thinking. So they had
I was wondering about that too because the one shot the sheriff when he was coming back to the car and they was running to get back in the house, but then
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne was still by the car. And I was like, okay, that's one of them. But then the other one was the one that she took down in the woods after he tried to get the girl in the water and get the guy that was with them. I forgot his name. The guy that was with them, and then that's when she did her whole war thing and jumped down. And I was like, okay, she took him out, so that only leaves Clifton. But I was like, okay, if that's the case, Clifton didn't have a mask or anything with him, so why is there a mask in the car? Unless
yeah.
they dropped one of the masks when they was trying to get through the woods and he just happened to find it, or they
That's
had it
what I was
hidden,
thinking. Yeah, like they had dropped it, and so then they had
or had
to.
it hidden or something
Yeah, because
to
then
go
that.
back to it.
Yeah.
That's why I was also thinking that maybe there was a third person because of the mask in the car, but also because of the beginning when Shanika pulls up to that gas station. You see that old white guy outside of the gas station just looking
Hmm.
like, who is this shit? And I thought he was gonna end up being involved
Being
as
one of them.
yeah, which I mean he might, if they do a sequel, it seems like they're setting up for a sequel because
Yes.
we did
Yeah.
not see Clifton die. We know he fell in the well and he was injured,
I was
but
gonna say, do you think that he's alive still,
yeah,
or?
he's alive.
I think he's alive because it
Mhm.
sounded like when he fell that he fell in water
Yeah.
at the
Mm-hmm.
bottom of the well.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe he didn't die, and they're gonna do a next one, which would be kind of cool if he didn't,
Yeah.
because this was, I mean, it was a pretty cool movie.
Mhm. Well,
So
and then
it'd be
7 of them
fun. Yeah,
survived, so
yeah. But granted, he put all the bodies down there too that they had already killed.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
He wrapped them into them, which I like that reveal in it, where they're in that room and they're looking at the cameras and they see he's the one that threw the things down the well. They're
Mm-mm.
like, "What? It's Clifton." That was funny. And
Yeah.
then he kind of looks up at the camera like, "Take my
Mm-hmm.
snapshot." I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah." I was like, "I
Well,
was right."
I got so thrown off because he had gotten shot that then, like, did that make you guys think that maybe he wasn't behind it, or like,
Mm-mm.
okay.
No, no. I just thought that was part of their plan.
Okay.
Yeah, because he had hired the two twins to help
Mhm.
him do this, and I was like, okay, he probably was saying if it gets to the point in the game and I have to come out, just shoot me in my arm or something where it won't like kill me. Because I mean that was a direct shot and it was in a specific area of his body where I was like, okay, he shot him. He's not dead.
Versus it wasn't like in the neck, like the sheriff or
Yeah, like the sheriff and all the. I was like, okay, yeah,
character, yeah,
yeah. Which made me think, okay, that is his partner. The way he shot him, I was like, okay, that's the partner. And my husband was like, I'm telling you, it's the guy from the gas station. I was like, well, we gotta wait until we get to the get to the end. He's like, look at the build of him. That's the dude from the gas station.
I love that he caught that.
Yeah. And he was right.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. We didn't see many other people in the movie that it could have been. So that's the other thing that I think, like, if they really wanted to throw you off, they would have had more. There would have been more appearances, like more people that might have seemed suspicious before everything started. So,
yeah, because I don't think they really set it up to make it look like that it was somebody else in the group. I don't think it was set up like that, which would have been kind of nice because then it could have been like, you did it, no, you did it. But they didn't set it up like that. And he was the only oddball in the whole group. So I was thinking, why didn't they set it up to maybe like it was Dwayne or, one of them that was doing it? But
and then it wasn't as obvious with like the game because there was a piece for him too.
Yeah.
So that's what, but then that should have been suspicious because it's like, oh, well, he wasn't invited. So why is there a piece for him? But I didn't catch that. It was only after I was like, oh my gosh, there were so many clues. I was clueless.
And I like the one where she had to sing the rest of the song. And they was looking at nobody knew. Nobody knew it. And she was like singing it and she was like, yeah. Because she was the one that knew all the
that she was gonna have like one word or one line wrong.
That was gonna mess up.
Like, no, you're out. No, you didn't get it.
Yes. Yeah. I did like that part. And they was looking at her like, what? Because she knew all the words. I thought that was cute.
Which reminds me, during that game when they were playing and they get to the question of Black characters that were on the show Friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I at first I was like, oh, they got it, they're gonna get it. But then because as I was watching that scene, I was like, oh, this is where I would die because I have no idea. I've never watched. And I was like, oh, I guess I would have lived.
Well, see, I haven't seen I've only seen like episodes here and there of Friends, so I'm just like, I would not know anything. Like,
yeah, we have the box sets, so I have all 10 episodes. But the only way I would play that game when it has to do with Friends is if my husband's with me because he has all the shows basically memorized. So if there was a quiz, I would just look at him so he could answer. He knows all the episodes. And plus we have the box set, so we look at Friends all the time.
Cool.
But I thought that was a good question though.
Yeah. Trick question, but
yes. That was a trick one.
So that all brings up to like everything this movie is trying to say about Blackness and like, what the stuff that is associated with the Black people or not associated with them. And how even within the community you'll have people going, you're not black enough because of this, or, you know, you're not black enough because of that. And actually, the funny thing is, I actually saw um, there is an actual game, which I'm like wondering if a part of this was off based on the game. There's a game called Black Card Revoked, where it's
Oh,
a whole bunch of uh, questions about black culture, trivia type questions, and I'm like, I probably failed.
oh my gosh. I'm looking at this. I was like, I need to see what
Is
this
it
is
really?
all about. What is this?
I'm actually kind of tempted to
this
get the game.
like this. Okay, I went to the website and they have the cards in this. Answer the question. When grandma tells you to wrench it off, what do you need to complete the task? A wrench, lots of salt, hot sauce, or water?
Rinse it off? Would it be
Right.
water?
Water.
Oh.
I said it should be water. I've heard my grandmother say that.
Oh, this is fun.
So,
Oh my gosh.
And I have never heard that phrase, so I'm like,
yeah, my grandmother said that. So that's
yeah.
Oh, they've got celebrities, music, family, dating, church. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
What company? What company is it, Holly?
Cardsforallpeople.com.
Cardsforallpeople.com. I don't have my laptop in here with me.
They've got Latino card revoked, Jewish card revoked, and Girls Night Out.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Wow.
Black Card Revoked X Edition X. Okay, never mind.
I just know when I was looking for the games on Amazon, that was one that I came across, Black Card Revoked, and I was like, interesting.
Oh man, that would be fun to play though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, that sounds hilarious.
Like we all get together and play it. That would be hilarious.
We probably should.
That would be fun.
That should be, yeah, they should play that in the Blackening too.
Yes.
Some of the questions in the movie
Probably came from that.
That's why, because it sounded similar to the questions from the game. What I saw online of the game, it sounded similar. So I was like wondering if maybe they took some questions from there. But
maybe.
yeah. So what was your favorite scenes or favorite moments, lines from the movie?
Let's see.
I didn't prepare with lines, but
I didn't either.
But that whole part, the like trying to like say who was the blackest, like that was like one of my favorites. I know that was. Like
one of mine was when the sheriff came and they had the weapons in their hand and they dropped them, and then when he said "come with me" and he walked out, everybody picked their stuff back up.
That reminds me about at the end. They're like, "Oh yeah, we'll call the fire department or whatever."
Because they were like, "How are we gonna get help without getting shot?"
What else did I? And I did like the when they all were in the vent and he got sick and he threw up on the killer there.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. That was one of my favorites.
Also, another one of my favorites was after that part where she beats him to death with the candlestick.
Yeah.
Why do black women?
Yes.
That was my third one. Oh my gosh, she went
Yes.
ham on him.
did. But that was one of my favorites. I always tell my brother, like, if we're in a horror movie situation and someone's after us and we have a chance to take them out, there I'm going for a headshot. If I have a gun,
Yes,
going for a headshot. I'm doing like Sam and Scream, and I'm stab him over and over, and then shoot him in the head. Just
yes,
because
Just
I'm
to
like,
make sure.
you ain't coming back. We're not.
yes, because you know they always come back.
I don't do round two, so you gotta.
That's
You gotta
hilarious.
Just take them out exactly. Now, one thing I do not like in movies is where they'll be up against the killer. They'll like hit them with something, they'll knock them down, they drop the weapon, and then they run. Why not just finish the person off?
Yes.
Exactly.
Or at least take it with you so that they
Or
can't
take the
grab it
weapon
and
with
then use
you.
it against you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we just watched this movie about this girl that works at this gas station, and this lady calls her phone unseen. Unseen. It's called Unseen. Thank you, honey. It's called Unseen, and she works at this gas station. She hates her job, and then one day she goes to call this number, and she calls the wrong number. She hangs up. She goes into work, and the person that's number that it belongs to calls her back and needs her help because the girl's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, is trying to kill her, and
Oh,
she
wow.
can't see because she lost her glasses. She broke her glasses when she was trying to get away. So she has to FaceTime this girl, and she's her eyes, and she's trying to get away from this guy. And
Oh,
it gets
wow.
it is really good. And she gets to this point where she runs him over with the car. She's like, "Okay, you got the piece of glass." She's like, "No, don't kill him. Just keep going." And I'm like, "Just go over and take him out.
Just
Just
stab.
take him out.
Just stab.
It's self-defense. He's trying to kill you. Take him
Right.
out."
You're allowed to
And
do
she does it in the house too. She hits him with this vase like a couple of times, and he falls, and that's when she breaks her glasses. And I'm like, just keep
Oh,
hitting him. Just keep hitting him.
Mhm.
But and it's one of those. It's really tense and suspenseful. But and the girl's on the phone trying to help her. Plus, while she's trying to help her, her boss and this crazy psycho customer lady is trying to get into the like how some gas stations have that window, bulletproof window,
mm-hmm.
and you have to walk through a door and they lock the door just for their safety.
Mm-hmm.
She's in one of those, and this psycho woman is trying to beat it down because she takes the girl's phone.
Oh my
It
God.
is it's funny in sometimes, but it's really intense in other times. It's a really good movie though.
That
It's really
sounds
good.
good. That sounds really good. I'm
Yeah,
gonna look that up too.
yeah. But it's just stuff like that where you have a chance to take this person out that's trying to kill you, and you don't take the chance. You drop the
Yeah,
weapon and run, or you don't continue to take them out. It's like take them out
Mm.
I
and
know.
just make sure they don't come back.
That
Oh, I love Sam. Sam. Oh, sorry. I just looked up that movie, and the actress is Jolene Purdy, and she's in Sweet Magnolias on Netflix, and that's
Yeah, and Sam is the girl that's trying to help her get away from the guy. It's really good.
oh
You should watch it. It's really good.
yeah,
We saw it on Prime, I think. It's a
yeah,
Prime Video. Amazon. Yeah, it was Prime Video.
nice.
But that also reminds me of what we talked about, I think, in the book club for last month's book, where I was saying how, like, uh, I think I brought up the movie Terrifier
Yes.
and how,
Hmm.
how she has a chance to take him out, but she is, like, so dumb.
You know.
Why I can't feel bad for some male characters because I'm like, babe, you're too dumb to survive. You just gotta.
Yeah. But then you have some movies where there's just that one character that is so darn annoying. They're just awful. And I was like, if I could talk to the killer, I'd tell the killer, just take them out already. Because they're awful. You get some of those characters, it's like, oh my god, just take them out already, because they're just horrible, horrible characters.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you have a character where you're like wanting the killer to actually succeed and this and like yeah, take him out. Yeah, it's funny. Uh, I was thinking of something else and then I forgot. I guess any last. Oh, actually, I did have another um line or quote from the movie. Had I thought was funny was when, or actually two of them, two moments. So the first one was when Morgan and Sean at the beginning, after Sean gets the answer wrong, and Morgan said something. Morgan was like, those were the first two to die in the movie," and then she says, um, "Honestly, I think it's because they didn't have it in the budget to keep them for the whole movie, so that's
Yes. Yes.
why right at that moment they pause and Sean and Morgan look at each other, and it's like that little silent signal to the audience that
Yeah.
That they can't afford them to be alive the whole time either.
Right.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
that was hilarious. That was one of them. Um, and
I do
then
think she took too long to die in that movie too. Jada Pickett.
Yeah.
She took way too long to die.
she had to have a dramatic death.
She did. I was like, she just trying to stay on camera a little bit longer. Just go ahead and die. He done stabbed you 45 times. Just die.
Oh,
I
oh
mean, he
God.
stabbed her a lot of times, and she's still like, oh, seriously, lady, just die.
Mm-hmm.
Stabbed her that many times? I don't remember because I thought he stabbed her when they were sitting down,
Yeah.
and then when she got up, did he stab her again?
Yeah. So he stabbed her originally when she was sitting down, and it made her get up, and she was trying to get away from him, and he stabbed her in her back. And then she got in the aisle. She walked some more. Then he stabbed her again. And I'm like, okay,
Oh my God.
he stabbed you. I think he stabbed her maybe 4 times. And I'm like, okay, die. He done stabbed you. Get it over with.
But
She
hearing
kept
those stories
walking.
now, there's like murders where literally the person like has stabbed someone like 100 to like 300 times, and it's like apparently that you need more than 4 stabs to kill someone because these people are like
Yeah.
going overboard, like real life
Yes.
stories, and it's just like I think they're gone. Like you're crazy. So, anyways.
And then the last time he stabbed her, he like held on to her and lifted her up. And then when she came back down, then she stumbled toward the stage, and then she got on stage. I'm like, chick.
Surprisingly, I've heard that it actually takes a lot to for you to die from a stabbing. Like you can be stabbed a lot of times and still survive. Of course, it also depends on where
Where
you're
they're stabbing you.
and how deep it goes. But yeah, you can be stabbed quite a bit and still survive. So,
Yeah, because I had a friend that was murdered, and she was stabbed, I think, 44 or 46 times
Oh my
before
gosh.
she died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And she was pregnant at the time, so wasn't
Oh my God.
not a very good thing.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
horrible. Mm-mm.
And if it's passionate enough, they
Right.
kind of stab in all the
They get the right
surfaces.
spot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they go over all the surfaces. But if you want to take somebody out quick, if you stab them in the heart, it's a done deal. So it's like, why are you prolonging the situation if you're
Right.
really trying to kill somebody?
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Did y'all have a favorite character in the Blackening?
Yeah.
Mine was Dwayne.
Mine was too.
Yeah.
I like Dwayne. I also like Shanika.
Yeah, she was my second favorite.
She was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like those two. They were funny. And the mind reading, the scenes where they're like,
Oh, yes, that's right.
Oh my God, yes.
and then especially at the end when Dwayne looks at Clifton and he's like,
Mhm.
"Did you hear all that?"
He's like, yeah. That was funny.
That was a nice little, like, not magical realism, but,
Yeah.
slipping that into reality, and it, like,
Yeah.
seemed seamless, too.
Yeah. So I love that part, that scene. This movie had so many funny scenes and funny lines. But yeah, I definitely think for anyone who's not into horror, this is I think this is a good introduction if you're trying to horror, because I think it's more on the comedy side than the horror.
Yes.
So there weren't any moments that really felt terrifying or scary. It was all very comedic. So
Yeah. That's a good point to say that it's a good starter horror.
And even the intense moments
comfort
are still kind of funny.
Yeah,
comfort horror. Yeah.
Genre that I learned about last week.
Yeah. Because even the intense moments and stuff, when it got like supposed to be really scary, it was still funny.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think
I hope they make another one.
I do too. I really hope so. I mean, it seemed like they were setting it up that way with Clifton at the end. Like I said, we know he's not dead.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not dead unless we see a body.
We have learned that throughout the books and movies we have read and watched.
But do you guys have anything else you want to wrap up with, or any last thoughts or anything? I will say this, going back to what we were saying earlier with the Clifton's motivation and stuff. I'm like, I don't even know how to play spades, so
yeah, no. I learned in high school because the kids were playing in like homeroom, but then I forgot because then I went to the next grade and we didn't play spades. So I'm like,
yeah,
I don't blame you either, Clifton.
I grew up playing spades, so I'm used to the game.
I've never played, so I have no idea how they play or what. But yeah, not a reason to get upset and drunk and drive and hit someone.
Right, because he could have took a taxi home. He could have caught a cab.
Yeah.
Or Uber or Lyft and went home instead of driving. He chose to drive to go home. They didn't tell him to drive. He chose to do that on his own. So blaming them was kind of wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, trying to get revenge for that though, I was like, come on, Clifton.
Yeah.
I mean, the person that you killed was not even kin to you. You did not know them people. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would have been different if it was like maybe one of them killed one of his family members, or they did something horrible to him. When they were in college or something, and he was trying to get revenge.
Right.
But dude, get over it.
Come on, right.
Yeah.
You got to
But
get over that.
that might just be, it might just be the fact that they wanted this to be more of a silly, campy, over the top
Hmm.
movie. So they have
Yeah,
this motive.
yeah. It was still a good movie though, even though his
Yeah,
excuse was lame. It was still a good,
Definitely.
funny movie.
Yes.
it was.
I
It
mean,
was.
yeah, and it's actually a movie that I would look at more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
Same.
know,
Same.
because I just think it's hilarious. Yeah.
It's a movie I told my brother, I'm like, I will probably watch this every October now.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's like
Yes.
it's one of those movies that you would want to do that. I would
Mm-hmm.
like a hard copy of it though, but
Mm-hmm.
um, instead of like streaming or whatever. But it is one of those you just pull out, and when I do my Scream marathon, I could just put it at the end.
Had that. Yes. Yes. I didn't get at
Yeah,
that. That's perfect.
yes, because every October I do my Scream marathon.
Oh,
So
that's
it's the thing.
awesome.
Me and my husband
Yeah.
do the Scream marathon because we love the Scream movies. So
Nice.
I love them too. Have you heard about Scream 7 though?
yes, that they fired Melissa,
Yeah, I was
the
like,
Mm-hmm.
main character, and then Jenny Ortega, which I love as Wednesday.
Yes.
She quit.
yeah,
So I'm
What?
like,
Oh,
like,
wow. What
well,
happened?
you might as well not make a 7 now because
yep.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna.
they have really ticked off a lot of people with that.
Yeah.
And the comment that she made was not even disrespectful. She should have never been fired for what she said.
Mm,
I mean, it's free speech, people.
Right.
dang.
But yeah. And then Jenny was like, Jenny said she's not coming back either. And I'm like, well, that's your Scream 7. You can't make a
Oh,
movie if the two main characters not going to be in it.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to fly.
Yeah, that's rough.
I was like, yeah, I guess I won't be seeing that and I won't be buying that one.
No, I'm actually hoping that they will end up giving the movie rights to another studio that will hire Melissa
Hmm.
back.
Mm,
Yes. Like maybe
And
sell it to someone else and then they can have the option of asking her to come back and asking Jenna to come back and
yeah,
and
maybe,
maybe
or they should
go.
just save face and just ask them to come back.
or that, yeah.
They could correct their wrong and say, okay, yeah, we effed up. So maybe we jumped the gun and we would really like you to consider coming back. And she could say yay or nay.
Mm,
Yeah.
But just to just fire her just like that was not cool at all. I
wow.
mean, they didn't even consider their Scream fans. All of
Mm,
us that paid all this money to see them on the theater and bought copies of the movies, and then you just screw the whole. I think they should have stayed with the the people that they had doing it. I think it was radio. Is it Radio Silence?
Yeah, radio silence.
Radio Silence. They should have stayed with
mm,
them instead of going with another person to do this seventh movie. Because if Radio Silence was still doing it, I think it would have just they would have kept them, and then it would just went perfectly well. But they
Yeah.
went with a different company to do the seventh one, and he's like
oh.
screwed it all up.
I wonder why they did
Because
that.
Yeah, I was about to say that doesn't make sense.
yeah, I don't know why they didn't keep radio silence. I don't know if they were busy doing something else and they didn't have the time to do it, or they just wanted to go
Mm,
with a new person. But this new person that they picked up um, to do is the people that fired Melissa, and then Jenny told her camp to tell him, "Nope, I'm not doing it."
hmm.
And I know they're saying that maybe they'll bring back Stu and Sydney's character, but at this point, they don't need Sydney's character.
No.
They don't. I mean, they don't need her. They did the last two without her.
Yeah. No.
Well, the last one without her. I mean, they don't really need her character.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were going to bring Stu back, they should have did it when they first did the one with Melissa and showing that she was Billy Loomis's daughter. If they was going to do it, they should have brought Stu back then instead of having the boyfriend and the friend do it again,
Mm.
which I thought was what they were going to do, but they didn't. But I will still have my Scream marathon.
I need to
I
have
just won't have it with 7.
Yeah, next October I'll have a Scream marathon as well.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I had mine as well this year because my brother had only seen one of the movies. I think the fifth one, or no, he saw the sixth one with me. And I was like, well, now you gotta see it from the beginning.
Jenny. Yep.
Yes.
Yes. October is the big month. We do a week of Friday the 13th because we have all of those. And then we do a week of the Halloweens. We do a week of the Freddy's. And we top it off
Yes.
with the Screams.
Nice. Oh,
Nice.
Freddy's classic. Oh,
Oh, that's my favorite one. That's one.
Yep.
My husband is a Jason person, but I'm a Freddy person.
I'm a
Freddy messes
yeah.
with you in your dreams.
That's what I grew up like watching was Freddy. So yeah, he's got a special place in my heart.
Yes, he's the bestest.
What about Chucky?
Ooh,
That's what
Chucky too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have the Chuckies too. I look at him every blue moon. And only because when he does that little thing where he puts his hand on them and he says the stuff, I'm like, no. I have to mute you. Can't have that in my house. You're not bringing nothing up in here. So yeah.
Chucky was the one that I grew up on as a kid. He was the one that scared me the most because I'm like, that doll would not die.
And it was just like more close to you because it was like we all have dolls, like that could be like
He did die.
Yeah.
The first one, he was burned, dismembered, shot at.
Yep. And he still keeps coming back.
Oh no.
Now the TV series I think is a little bit darker. Well, I'll say the kills are a little bit more brutal.
Oh, I didn't even know
on
there
his
was
TV
a series.
Yeah, he has a TV series, and it's his kills in that is a little bit darker than what they were in the movie.
Okay.
I need to watch them because I know they said they brought Andy for the show, and I was like, I had started watching the first episode, but didn't really get into it. But I'm gonna have to try it again.
Yeah, because I think it has a second season now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched the new season because they started going way left on it, and I got bored.
At least watch the first season.
Yeah, I watched the first season, but then I was like, okay, now I'm bored now, so I got to move to something.
Aww.
It didn't keep my attention, but I do like the kills in it. The kills are pretty cool that they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, they really thought those out.
Nice.
Well, thank you both for joining me today. I know, sorry, Teresa, I kept you a little bit longer.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
But thank you both for joining me today.
No problem.
For those that are watching the replay, leave a comment down below and let us know your thoughts on the movie and what were your favorite scenes and characters and all that. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this time. Not sure when I'll be back for the next video. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.